Raider Nation, this shit is getting real, and what is hiding behind the scenes of this preseason might completely change the destiny of our franchise. Word is that front office moves are accelerating, but there are whispers that not everything has been told to the fans. If this actually happens, the impact is going to be massive. Something is not adding up inside the Raiders, and nobody is talking about it. So smash that like button and stay until the end, because this could change everything. This makes no sense. And the worse these roster tweaks look, the deeper we dig. The training camp wall is solid, but the front office just keeps shuffling pieces. Reports say the coaching staff wants immediate depth, and that is why we saw the quick exit of Zach Kuntz and rookie Tanner Wall, while tight end Chris Myarick touched down in Las Vegas. But hold on a second, is shuffling pieces like this on the sly a sign of hunting for perfection or desperation for alternatives? People are buzzing that Myarick could take on an interesting hybrid role, floating as a fullback in the scheme Klint Kubiak is drawing up. He has bounced around 6 different teams and has not sniffed an official game field since 2022, when he was rocking a Giants jersey. Bringing in someone with that profile gives off major Connor Hayward free agency vibes. Is it an insurance bet or a hint that our blocking formation is raising internal doubts? And that is not even the most worrying thing in the tight end room, because at the top of the pyramid, the story is completely different. If on one hand we are tinkering with the edges of the roster, on the other hand, Brock Bowers is absolutely destroying any defense that dares step in front of him. The guy came back with a chip on his shoulder after that injury in week 1 of last season. Reports from the field show Bowers is untouchable on crossers, one of the cornerstones of Kubiak's scheme. In one recent play, he hauled in a miraculous pass from Kirk Cousins near the sideline, keeping both feet in bounds with an agility that looks like an elite wide receiver. And it does not stop there. He simply trucked starting cornerback Eric Stokes with a quick outside release, drawing cheers and leaving everyone's jaws on the floor. It is the kind of physical dominance that makes us dream big, but leaves us with that lingering itch. Is our defense weak in practice, or has Bowers turned into an unstoppable force of nature? But hold up, because what comes next changes everything. While Bowers is shining, Michael Mayer gave the fans a scare by leaving practice early with a nose injury that kept him out of subsequent activities. Kubiak tried to calm the waters, saying he is going to be fine, but with helmets on and the season right around the corner, losing precious practice time is always a risk. And let us keep it real, Mayer is in a contract year. If he does not show he can be a centerpiece, the heat is going to come down heavy. Is this good news for our depth or a red flag for our offensive consistency? If you think the behind-the-scenes movement stops there, buckle up, because the Vita Vea saga just dropped some hot, explosive chapters. If the Raiders are actually interested in bringing a heavyweight to the defensive line, the green light just flashed hard. Late July, it came out that Vea asked for a trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after contract extension talks hit a brick wall. And the most interesting part is that analyst Ted Nguyen dropped the info that the player's preference would be playing for the Raiders or a California team. His agent, Colin Roberts, was surgical and straight to the point with the press. He does not see any other ending to this story unless a trade goes down. Vea has been sidelined from active practice after claiming a back tweak, which only fuels the rumors that his time in Florida has come to an end. The big question is, are the Raiders' front office going to pull the trigger? There's talk that the tight bond between the Vegas brass and the Tampa Bay front office could grease the wheels on a deal, and analyst Chris Sims called it on PFT Live, stating the move would make total sense, though he raised doubts about Vea's current level of explosion compared to his tractor-like prime days on the field. Is he still that ruthless run-stunting monster? Without a doubt. Last season, he put up dozens of pressures and envy-inducing consistency, but the burning question rolling around every fan's head is it worth giving up valuable draft capital for a veteran demanding a massive contract? Or is our defense begging for that gritty leadership? Speaking of leadership, the accountability behind the scenes is on a whole different level. Max Crosby opened up recently and kept it real about needing more vocal voices in the locker room. He made it clear he does not want to carry the piano all by himself, pointing out that success demands buy-in from every level of the team, from rookies to seasoned vets, without dumping all the leadership pressure onto just one guy. Bringing in a guy with the caliber and Super Bowl ring of a Vita Vea would instantly fix that defensive leadership void. But if that actually happens, what is the price tag on the salary cap and the chemistry of the group? Hold your horses, though, because the name that will not stay out of the headlines and keeps giving people sleepless nights is Max Crosby. Everyone remembers the scare earlier in the offseason, when an offer of 2 first-round picks from the Baltimore Ravens was actually entertained before getting shut down. Even with Crosby doubling down on his eternal love for the silver and black, and declaring to anyone who will listen that he wants to be a Raider for life, the rumor mill does not turn off for a single second. Still, it looks like even the biggest names in sports media are sick of this soap opera. Veteran analyst Rich Eisen officially called it, dropping the hammer that he has done debating trades involving Crosby, highlighting that the pass rusher's vibe is 100% about staying and planting roots in Las Vegas. When a guy says with that much conviction that he is a Raider through and through, ignoring the signs would just be dumb. However, Adam Schefter, one of the most plugged-in insiders in the league, brought a surgical and somewhat provocative perspective. According to him, while a trade before the season starts is out of the question and number 98 is going to lead our franchise on the field as the face he is, the script could flip radically depending on how our campaign plays out over the first few months. What happens if the team stumbles out of the gate with a shaky start, stacking up bitter losses and rolling up to the dreaded trade deadline in November with a losing record? That is exactly where, according to Schefter, the door for a deal could swing back open, with contending franchises knocking with undeniable offers for an elite pass rusher. This puts the fan base in a deep dilemma. Keeping Crosby means having a warrior soul on the field and a defense that strikes fear into any quarterback, but would the front office really resist a flood of draft picks if the season does not take off as expected? The pressure is squarely on the shoulders of the coaching staff and players to prove we are legitimate contenders from the opening whistle, shutting up any couch analysts for good. Now, the most important moment is here, and we need to look dead in the eye at everything on the line this Raiders preseason. Let us be real, fam. With all these intense roster moves, the arrival of depth pieces like Chris Myarick, the constant injury shadow hanging over key guys like Michael Mayer, the absolute dominance of an unstoppable Brock Bowers on the field, the heavy smoke around landing a heavyweight like Villa to lock down our front seven, and the endless, exhausting soap opera about Max Crosby's future, the burning question hammering in our heads is, are we actually building a solid foundation for a winning team, or are we just putting out fires that could spiral out of control at any second? The front office and coaching staff are making calls that mix long-term bets with the urgency to deliver immediate results for a fan base that is tired of suffering. On one side, seeing our defensive line and offensive scheme pick up new wrinkles shows there is active planning to fix flaws and beef up the group on all fronts. On the other side, leaning so hard on core players and dealing with trade drama and contract talks slaps a massive psychological weight on the locker room right before the regular season kickoff. The truth is, the margin for error in Las Vegas is zero. Every single choice made right now, from cutting a rookie to passing on or weighing crazy offers for star players like Crosby, is going to decide whether we roll into the playoff race with swagger or trip over our own uncertainty in the first few weeks of the year. The atmosphere is electric. Training camp is boiling, and our silver and black nation needs to be more unified than ever to back the guys wearing this jersey with grit and honor. Now, I want to hear from you, diehard fan who hung out with me till the end, with all these behind-the-scenes plot twists, the incoming strategic depth, and this crazy pressure on our top stars. Do you believe we are on the right track to shock the NFL, or are we just watching a giant problem grow in silence? Drop your take, your rant, or your breakdown right down below in the comments, because this debate is going to catch fire and our voice needs to be heard. Hit that like, share with the crew, and until next time, because being a Raider means living on the edge. Let's go!